Hey, Dennis Tubergen here, coming to you again from the studios of the Everything Financial radio program with the first video blog of the week. I want to talk to you today about some comments made by the presumed Republican presidential nominee, Mr. Donald Trump. He made some rather controversial comments as it related to U.S. government debt. He made these comments back on May the 5th. He was being interviewed by CNBC. Andrew Ross Sorkin and Becky Quick were interviewing Mr. Trump. And Mr. Sorkin simply asked Mr. Trump what he thought about debt. And he said, do you believe in terms of the United States we need to pay 100 cents on the dollar? Or do you think there's actually a way we can renegotiate that debt? And here's what Trump said, and I'm quoting. Yeah, I think, look, I have borrowed, knowing that you can pay back with discounts, and I've done very well with debt. Now, of course, I was swashbuckling and did it well for me, and it was good for me and all that. And, you know, debt was sort of always interesting to me. Now we're in a different situation with the country, but I would borrow knowing that if the economy crashed, you could make a deal, and if the economy was good, it was good. Therefore, you can't lose. It's like, you know, you make a deal before you go to a poker game and your odds are so much better. Now, renegotiate debt. Well, you know, this happens all the time. Mr. Trump is exactly right because there is an eternal truth. The eternal truth is simply this. If someone cannot pay you everything they owe you, they won't pay you. If an entity or a country or a city cannot pay you what they owe, then the bottom line is this. They won't pay what they owe. They won't pay everything. It happened in the city of Detroit during their bankruptcy. If you had a general obligation bond, in other words, you'd loan the city of Detroit money on a general obligation bond, and that bond was not backed by the sewer project or water project. It was simply backed by the full faith and credit of the city of Detroit. That got negotiated. You got paid about 10 cents on the dollar. You know, there's a book written by Reinhardt and Rogoff, and it's a rather academic read, but the name of the book is This Time is Different. And it talks about the fact that when sovereign debt, when national debt gets to a certain point, it never completely gets paid. There's always a default. There's a renegotiation that happens. And the United States is well past that point of no return, according to Reinhardt and Rogoff. So could it be that Mr. Trump is actually an honest politician? He's simply stating that there's too much debt to be paid. We're going to have to renegotiate. We're going to have to default, although he didn't say that. Well, the numbers indicate that. The only question is, how will we default and when will we default? I'll talk about that on the second video blog update this week.